Hi, I think I'm live. Goal of this video is to show how I do work on the SCTA, and I'm going to go ahead and share my two screens. So hopefully this is what you see. And I decided to just live stream some of the work I do so people could see how I'm working and how I'm using different apps and moving around them to do work. And since it's a little bit unusual, I thought I would just kind of record my process and talk out loud while I do it. And then it could be useful to see how we work. So let me go ahead and just, right now I'm reviewing pull requests on improving transcriptions. And so let me just open a couple of transcriptions. For example, um, let's look at this one by Evie here. Robbie's already made a suggestion, so I'm just going to, that's another student who's making changes. So I'm just going to go ahead and start looking at a few changes, and you'll notice that I can take any of the paragraph IDs and put them into the app and immediately see what the students are looking at. I'm gonna open up big here, and I'm just going to double check that they've corrected it correctly. So what they've done here is there was two words that the computer thought were one word, break equals no. So the students separate that, remove the no, and I'm just double checking that that's correct here. I'm going to check real quickly, make sure the transcription looks good. Then I'm going to move on to the next one. So I can just look at the paragraph above here. Looks like they've corrected something at the beginning of the second column. So we should be able to see that here. Responsio aliquorum looks good. Quad. And there was just a mistake here in the computer transcription, which they've corrected. So that's good. And I'll move on to the next paragraph. Double checking what they've done. So we've got ad primum in appositum decendum quad illud in. So we had a mistake in the computer transcription. They've corrected that correctly. So I'm just going to approve that. We've got Tamen corrected here. Looks good. And now we'll go on to the next one. They're adding the question title, so I want to make sure they've got that right. Whether the soul. Since the question titles are not part of the edited text but editorial metadata, we'd like to see that probably normalized. So I could make a suggestion here to just normalize that. So when you add, you can just add suggestion, start review, and now all they have to do is accept that correction. Brutorum looks correct. Oh, we need to make sure we're in the right paragraph. Secundum looks good. Utrum anime brutorum. So what they've done is the computer didn't recognize there was one word, so they put it into one line, added the break equals no, which is exactly what we want. Videtur quod non, which is good. Spiritu et anima, chapter 8, thick eit. Dicitur, they've done the same thing here, made that one word, looks good. Spiritus anime, looks good. And let's go to the next paragraph. So they corrected the decunt, but they didn't correct this QONEM, so it looks like they kind of forgot that one. So I'll just do this as a correct change. Let them know we need to make that to quaestionem. And our practice, when it's abbreviated, we kind of use a normalized expansion, but if it had spelled it out quaestionem without the A, we would have kept that orthography. So we would change that there. And I think that the rest looks okay. Aliqui, quad, ante, and then we got brutorum over the line, already correct. Pair. Here, probably we need a correction that they missed. So this should be two words, pair. Actually, let's cancel this and grab both lines together if we can. So we can put it on the same line. So let's move pair back up to this line, remove it here, keep the indent, and there's since it's two different words and not one, we'll remove the break equals no, and we'll leave it like that. And then we'll just check the rest. Extensionem materiae looks good. Initentis experientiae in. So we'll add that as a review comment. Students have noted where a paragraph needs to be added, which is great. And that's correct. Let's go to the next one here. All right, so we're checking here. Qui volt tenere looks good. We've got a correction at the third line, incisionem, and they've correctly made that one word. Everything else looks correct. Sentient, prima, sensitiva, corruptur, and then we should go to the next line. Good. So after those three changes, I'm just gonna go up here and go request changes. And now those changes request, and the editor just needs to come by and review those and commit suggestion, and then we'll merge that in. I got a bunch of outstanding or older ones that have already been corrected that need to be approved. So let's just go through those and I'll show you what that looks like. So we've made all these changes. We have a student who's a higher level who makes suggestions first, then those got corrected. I made a few more changes here. Student corrected those, and now I can just review the final changes that she made. Got rid of the question, spaced that out, got that right. Add that space, so that all looks good. So I'll do an approval here. We've got a number of automatic checks going on to make sure the XML stays valid and the schema stays valid. No conflicts, changes approved. So we're going to squash and merge that. This is a lot in here in this commit history, so we don't need quite all that. So I'm just going to confirm and get that done, confirm the squash. Now, in our workflow, I also added myself as a collaborator to their fork. So when I'm like that, once I've merged in a branch, I can actually delete it, so that just cleans things up a little bit. So that's what we're going to do here for a while until we get caught up. So changed, made commits. The other student reviewed it as the reviewer. Those all got corrected. I made some more reviewed changes. Those got updated. Gloss was fixed. So I've already reviewed this, and I'm just looking to make sure my corrections were accepted, and now I'm approving this. Squash and merge. This is more than we need, so let's just clean that up a little bit. And I'm just going to change this to finished section. And we have the other contributors there, squash and merge, and we'll delete that branch. Keep going. I'm working backwards here in time. So let's see, this one should be done. She finished. I made some corrections. She modified my corrections, just checking those. We had Male maledicte, good. She had when she has a question about abbreviation, she notes it here, and I make the correction. And then she's supposed to be looking up the word to learn the abbreviation. A couple of punctuation changes. She forgot the U there. Now she accepted it, so we're good. Approve, submit. Now we can merge that. We don't need all this. We'll just call that squash and merge. And we'll delete that branch. And keep going. This one looks good. But you'll see that it doesn't look like this has been addressed yet, so we'll leave that one outstanding. And let's go to So we've got a bunch of changes. So once the original corrections were made, she finished those corrections and then asked for a re-review. So then I can just go check these changes. These all look good. When she asks for a re-review, that lets us know that she's made the requested changes. So we've got Tullius here, 1, contra 2 looks good. And then we can accept that. And squash and merge. We don't need all these. And I'll delete that branch. Keep going. So she's addressed those changes. We can view them. They're pretty small, right? So she just had a question about that word. We discussed it, and then she accepted the change. So we're all good. Approve. Good. Squash and merge. And we can get that done. Delete branch. So we do that a lot. Let's go back to some that still need correction. So I'll start from the most recent, maybe. So Robbie's done. That probably doesn't have any. That's probably done. So Robbie cleaned this up, and I'll just follow his progress here and double check him. So primo. It's good. This one got real messed up. Looks good. Appropriato looks good. Then we'll jump to the next paragraph. Using the jump here makes it really easy to jump to the precise spot that he's looking at. Item munere right here. S spiritus. So I would like to see that cleaned up, and it doesn't look like we saw that. So let's go ahead and make a suggestion here. You can do the add suggestion, or bring that in, and this should be changed to spiritu sancto, like that. So I'll start a review here. Let's check. We should see that as fruendum. The rest of that looks good. But it looks like slipped a little bit here. We're missing an M at the end of that, so we want to see that corrected. Debuit appropriari. Add a line for review here. Then the rest of that got changed. So we got pro contrario sufficit auctoritatis. Bea ilari, that's fine. Good. And now let's jump to the next paragraph. Should be the start of a new. We've got, there are no changes there until the next column, which is here. So imago, he's making sure to check where lines, where words should be separated. So we had spiritus sancto, but he correcting this word spiritu to make it 2 separate words, which is great because I want those separated. And then lost my spot. We got imago est, right? Expressivum here. Then we have imago est, good. And that's a correction that he made from imita to imitationem. So he put those together as one word, adding the break equals no. So that looks good. Next paragraph. Again, this is going to be Assimilationes, that looks great. I don't think we need to look at that too closely. Patri, he's separated. Let's take a look at this one. Down at the bottom here. We're in this paragraph 219, right? Yep. And then quodcunque should be one word, so cunque is here, so that's good. That's corrected to quodcunque. Patri was corrected to one different words, patri quia. That looks all good. Good. And then at the very end, we have persona. Oh, we're in a different paragraph here. So we just have to bump up sometimes to get the other paragraph. Okay, so we had ad primum, that was fine, but we had personis, and that was treated as two words, and he's correctly put that together, added the break equals no, so we got that correction. Next paragraph, we can hit the next button if we know it's the next paragraph. Ad secundum, good. Sequitur should be one word, he's corrected that, good. Next paragraph, pulchritudinis, corrected, good. Now we're jumping down. I would say here, again, headers are editorial content, so we can expand that. Secundo, whether the propriotio of Augustine is convenient, I would add that. Let's take a look at the paragraph. Even here, I think we can expand the abbreviation because our general rule is to expand abbreviation, but to preserve orthography. So, and sometimes with these names, we'll just leave them abbreviated for the time being, but the ultimate goal will be to expand them to capture that case ending. So since we're already doing a review on this one, might as well just fix that here as well. Then we get out of this, we should have sit conveniens, which is fine. Then a couple corrections need to be made here. So Augustinus, and then this should be NM. So when we make that change, we hope the student comes back and they use the same resource to come look at the paragraph again and then kind of like learn that abbreviation. Primo, libro, so we expand that. That looks good. And then that correction's great. Duh. And then this is nice. Here's an example of preserving spelling. Like there's a misprint here. And so we put sic around it, and the student's done that nicely. De Doctrina Christiana. We put sic here to know, like, too, when we come back to it a year from now, that's not a transcription error. We've already looked at that, and that's exactly what it is. All right, next paragraph. I think we need to jump here to this paragraph, 7.1. And we're at the top of the page here. Pro speciosate, good. In quantum est imago. So he's corrected the Spiritui Sancto again, which is perfect. And the rest of that's fine. We got another correction here to bring imitationem together, which is great. And let's go to the next paragraph. Simulationes is brought together. That's great. Further down, patri and quia are broken apart. Oh, boy, this feels like we might have a duplicate page here. Very similar to what we had above. It's fine. We'll look at that later. Oh, I got pushed above. I've already been here. Pre allegata is good. Convertibilis is good. Divinus is good. Appropriator is good. He's corrected this. Defer. This is a correction, but didn't quite get fully corrected. So let's take a look at that. So we got ad primum and appositum. Good. Dicitur is good. Quad ends at unum is separate words. That's good. Convert. Unum convertatur, etc. Dico quad verum est. Then we got re aliter tamen, and then we forgot an n here. So we'll go here. Don't forget your n. Differunt. Then the rest is okay. Quam with is good. Add review. Quantitas appropriator, that all looks fine. We're really just checking the green here, red. Loquitur postulus is good. Autem essentialis is great. All right, so we got 6 comments. I'm going to request changes, and he'll just double check. He'll check those and accept them. That's the one I just did. Let's do this one. This one might be real short. Circulitorum looks good. Relation. Let's just check this. Relatio. Good. Relatione. Secundum rem looks good. Then we got in docte. In docte looks good. Hoc in arguendo, that looks good. Rest of that looks fine. We'll approve that. So that didn't need any changes, which is great. Then I approve that. And then I delete that branch, clean that up a little bit. And here's one by Evie. Let's go ahead and check this. Grab the PID and get to where we need to be real quickly. Here it comes. So fuit dormientis, good. Quia gens. That's pretty good, though we might want to improve that Genesis abbreviation to Genesis Primo. She started putting the refs in there, which is great. So we're gonna we'll use that to like search for all refs to Genesis, and then we'll improve our index. Masculum is great. Start review. And I did tell him we can leave the abbreviation too, which is fine. So I'll just leave that as is. But gens, it's not quite. Either expand it to Genesis, or we can leave the abbreviation. So that one will be fine. They're adding the full heading here, so I always want to make sure this question's right. In quam labet, let's check to see if that's really what it should be. Whether ratio seminalis, we got that, seminalis, and she's corrected that. Utrum ratio seminalis, sit aliquid transmutabile in quam labet, that's good. Some form, into some form, reticulum per naturam. Okay, that looks good. And the question up here looks good. Though here I would expand since this is a editorial heading. The rest looks fine. She's got philosopher, 16 de animalibus as a ref. That looks nice. And let's go to the next paragraph. Augustine 9, supergen. That's good. She just corrected that to the abbreviation for Genesis, which is fine. loquens de rationibus looks good. And next paragraph. Ad primum in appositum condicitur, that looks good. Quod illud medium. So here, I think she might need to see this as a, I can't comment or make a suggestion to across two lines, but this shouldn't be mediante, so we'll cancel this. And let's go ahead and just correct this line here. Can we just do one line, please? No? How about now? There we go. So what we want to do is say this is one word, median, and then break equals no, add review comment, and then I think we can get rid of this. If it's a little confusing, I'll leave a note. I'm deleting median here because this is actually the first part of mediante, and I've added median to the line below with K. All right, so we're going to delete that median, and we're going to add that here, mediante, so that's good. Seminalis, she corrected, I think. Seminalis, good. Which, specie, seminalis, etc. Dico, quod verum, si illud sit principium activum. Good. Utrum corpus muliers. Let's check this one. Quaestio 3, whether was productum de costa vira secundum rationem seminalem. That looks great. Tertia is good. Rationem seminalem is good. Genesem. This time she spelled it out, which is fine. Possibly the computer already expanded that abbreviation, so that's fine. Let's come down here to the next paragraph. We can just, GitHub won't show us the ID if it's above there. Are we already on that one? We're already on that. Contra, okay, we're here. Contra, so ref, Hugo, primo, libro. It's harder for the students to know that that's Sacramenti, so we just keep the abbreviation for there. So par 6, chapter 36 looks good. Loquens, the rest is good. Next paragraph. Actually, we're jumping down a bit, so let's grab that. So lots to correct here. So then she leaves a little note about something she's not sure about, which is great. So asignare, so that abbreviation is quite difficult here, differentia. So let's go ahead and correct that for her. Differentia. So my hope is that when she'll get the suggested change, and I'll just leave a note. Make sure to check to look at the manuscript, the codex again, to see the abbreviation, to learn the abbreviation for differentia. That way they get better as they go. Interaciones, good. Add review comment. Primordialis looks good. Quia rationis primordialis. Oh, let's say causalis. Et naturalis. Good. Et seminalis. Good. Quia primordialis. Good. Factive in Deo, good. And then last one. Ad primum in repositum decundum quad potentiam seminaliter mundo inditam Augustinus. This is good, except I think we could think about ibi as part of the ref here. We could say, so I would just let her know. I would include ibi as part of the ref since we're sort of saying Augustine in this place says, and when we'll have to look at context to figure out what place ibi is referring to. So that's a nice, like, the GitHub conversation is a nice, like, asynchronous kind of instruction, and then the students read those comments, and we improve together. So that's good. I've got 6 comments here, and so I'm going to just request changes, and then next week as part of her work, she'll go back through those and make the adjustments. So that's about 30 minutes. That's kind of how I work, and you can see like the asynchronous commenting environment we have over here. You can see the way the pull requests and merging, that works really well for collaboration and keeping the XML in sync. And then over here, you can see the nice way we can get to the primary source image really quickly. And it makes it really easy for me to kind of spot check the work people are doing. So I'm gonna stop this stream right here, but I'm gonna try to do like half-hour streams of different work I do, so people can just see how it works and see how I use the different interfaces. Let me know if you have any comments, or let me know if you have any videos you want to see, and I'll try to make them. Thanks for watching. Bye.